You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me. The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.
I'm back. I wasn't here last week.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, you almost forgot.
I don't know who are you again?
You forgot that I wasn't even here.
I took charge of the whole thing with Mom and myself.
It was a good episode.
It was a good episode.
Leave it up, because what if you want to do cancel court or something?
Right. You're right.
You know,
I think people liked it.
people liked it for sure.
I don't know. You don't give me the specs and the shit and the
stats. You mean?
No, the specs too and stats.
The specs of what?
What people like and dislike. Stats or numbers. I'm thinking of more.
Specs is specifications is what.
But I'm talking like,
No, stats is what you want.
No, I know what we're saying. We're saying the same thing. I'm trying to be a little more cool and hip.
It's certainly not. Oh, the specs, please. Give me the specs. That's not hip and cool.
God, I missed you so much.
Yeah, I'm back, bitches. Can't get rid of me. This is my fucking show.
Wow.
It's our fucking show.
Wow. Well, look at you, huh?
I mean, that was obviously a joke.
Okay, it's fine. Don't worry about it. We know. I looked at what was that?
But now we're equal. I had one episode without you, and you had one episode without me. So now we're good.
What you had without me?
The second episode, you had COVID, remember? So I did it with Bryson Burke.
No, I noticed in the article that came out when there was the photo, you put the different showing it was like, I didn't even know that we were even being interviewed. I wasn't interviewed. You must have been interviewed.
Wait, what are you talking about?
That article that the Gab.
Oh, you weren't interviewed when we sat on the phone with him for 30 minutes while you were working. We literally were on the phone with him. You were at work. I was here, and we both were. And you go, every time he asks a question, I go, Dad, and you go, you got it, Bronny, because you were working.
That was the guy interviewing us? I don't remember. I thought that was something Michelle. I could be wrong. Okay, no big deal. All right,
it was like 2 months ago. You don't remember that?
I don't care. Not a big deal. Let's go. What do we got on the list today?
So, Dad, there was an article.
What do we got on the list today, Bronny? What do we got on the list today?
There was an article written about us in Yahoo News, and talking about China and like how we think TikTok is shadow banning us for our views and talking out against.
We know they are.
Yeah, and like we think that because we talk out against China and whatnot.
Whatnot. Nefarious.
But then Dad goes, wow, the article was really heavy for you, Bronson. It was all your quotes. And I was like, yeah, Dad, because we literally in the interview, every time the guy asked us a question, you go, you can answer it, Bronny. So you didn't answer a question. So how is he going to put your...
really true. And what about the issue of
100%?
What about the 16 photos?
You didn't even...
The 16 photos.
What? In the article?
Yeah. That you
There's
had.
one of...
There was 12 of you and 4 of me.
There were 3 pictures in the whole article.
No,
what article are you talking about?
I'm talking about when you put in the snapshot of the
Oh, you're talking about the TikTok page?
Yes.
You know why that is?
No, tell me.
Because
right.
each of our
I love getting them riled up. I can get them riled up so
why
easily.
our TikTok page is mostly my face is because all our TikToks start with me saying something and then you reacting.
Why is that, Bronny?
I don't know. Maybe you should bring some topics so that I can react to, and then the videos will start with you.
Nobody wants to hear your reaction. Well, maybe we gotta hug that tree and live. Okay, go ahead.
When have I ever hugged a tree?
And women should not shave their armpits because I think that's a beautiful thing.
I think it's disgusting. I
think
it's fine if a woman doesn't want to shave their armpits, but I don't want to be with that woman.
Me neither. Right. I'm just fucking with you. I'm just pushing your buttons to get you riled a little bit.
Why?
Why not? You like to get me riled.
Yeah, but you don't. I don't get riled, bitch.
Sure you don't, bitch. He's such a tough guy. Woo! Bronny's he gets through a cold for a couple of days, and all of a sudden now he's a tough guy.
Yeah, I feel like I survived an illness. Oh, it's not COVID though. I was in bed for literally 5 full days.
He was not,
and it wasn't COVID.
5 full days in bed. You're a little bit of a bitch.
Sunday, Monday. Actually, not Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
When you get a little bit of a cold, whatever, you get a little bit like a bitch. Ask Mom.
Did I complain to you once about the cold?
No, but you get a little bitchy. And
how?
You did.
I didn't ask. Wait, what do you mean ask?
Why are you getting all defensive?
I didn't ask Mom to bring anything up to me.
No, Mom will. You get a little bit of an attitude.
Mom.
No,
Mom.
More meatloaf.
I know she's right outside watching TV. So
of course she is. She's on the couch. It means she could have fallen asleep. Here she is.
Mom,
come in here for a moment. Come here for a moment.
Okay, be truthful. Come here.
Yeah, be truthful. Do you hear me?
It's okay.
Don't worry. You don't have makeup on now. It's
podcast.
fine. Look at her. She's freaking out. Everyone's just going to look at your boobs anyway now. You don't have to worry
Okay,
about
that's gross. Okay, stand right here for a sec.
See?
Okay, Banks isn't here too.
Okay.
Great.
Wait. Is anyone looking at her face right now?
Dad, well, her face isn't going to even be in it right now.
Perfect. I told you some boobs. Okay, go on.
Dad goes, and I want you to be truthful. Dad goes, you become a bitch when you get sick.
A little bit bitch.
When you have a cold, you become a bitch and you make it like worse. And I said,
not make it worse.
And then he said, ask mom.
Wait,
because I said I didn't do anything.
Slow down, Rainbow.
So what's the answer?
No, he is not a bitch when he's sick.
Okay,
be truthful.
First of all, no, stop. Let me clarify it. And you're getting a little bit fucked up. Now,
Banksy's here too.
Because I pride myself when I'm sick of being independent.
Quiet. That's a different issue.
So
when Bronson gets a little bit
bitchy.
When Bronson gets a little bit hungry.
We're not talking about hunger.
No, he gets his little bit of snickery attitude. Am I correct? Am I correct?
I agree with you on that.
Quiet. Am I talking to you?
It's about me.
No, but I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about you.
Yes. Sometimes he can get an
Bitchy.
attitude
Little bitchy.
when he's hungry or
Okay, watch my built-in.
We talked about this 2 episodes ago.
Secondly, when Bronson gets a cold, he's a little does not necessarily milk. Shut up, Bronson. Not necessarily milks it, but he gets a little bit of a.
Give me an example. What did I do?
You know what I'm saying now? It's like a little bit like Brian, come out. I don't want to come out. Or
literally, you go come to dinner. I go. I don't feel well. I'm going to stay home.
I don't think people want to hear this. I know I'm right. I'm the parent. I know I'm right.
What?
You're yelling. You are 100% yelling, getting very defensive.
I am getting defensive because you're attacking my character.
I'm not attacking your character. I'm not talking about your fucking character. I'm talking about you just being a little bit bitchy.
That's part of my character. Yeah, why are you freaking out on me?
Because I'm not attacking your character. I'm not freaking out. Hey, now, by the way, okay, all right, now. By the way, now, okay,
all right, thanks.
Your role is done. You can leave now.
So you said ask mom, and mom said no.
No, mom would still fucking breastfeed you if she could. I don't want to hear it. You even said when she was hugging.
I said with Burke. That's a whole different story.
Banks with you. Yeah, with Burke, the way you breastfeed Burke.
Also, this door is in a haunted house. Apparently, it's the creakiest door.
All it needs is WD-40.
Why don't you fix it? Stop with the bomb.
Do you even know what WD-40 is? Yeah. Wait. Let's listen as you close it.
Could you even spell WD-40?
Good joke.
By the way, those are Nell's joints, just so you know. It's not the door hinges. All right, let's move on.
Okay.
You are
just last
peach.
thing.
When you get cold, you are cold, you
just
are a peach.
last thing. What's wrong with you're like, Bronson, do you want to come out to dinner?
Ooh.
Bronson, do you want to come out to dinner? And I'm like, no, I don't feel well. I literally not once let it stop. Like I wasn't like, oh my God, I would come downstairs, I would eat dinner with you guys, and I would go back upstairs because I didn't feel well. I didn't complain once about being sick.
Okay. You're right. He's not right. As the parent, you get a little bit, not a bitch, not like when you're hungry.
Just said it.
You get hungry when you get hungry. You're a bitch. You get a little bit.
I agree with that.
Like a primitive. Like I don't know, whatever.
Oh, see, I don't think so. Did I ever
Not
once be like,
okay.
Mom, bring my food up to me, Mom?
Ma, come in, Ma.
I didn't do any of that.
Ma, come in. That's what you just did right now.
I would come downstairs. I went on Instagram Live with you.
Yes, you did.
I didn't complain once about being
Okay,
sick.
then I'm wrong. I'm thinking about another kid. What can I tell you?
Well, yeah, me compared to the other two boys, when they're sick, it's like the world has to stop.
Yes. Oh boy.
Yeah, I got defensive about that.
Very defensive and loud.
Is that surprising to you? Is this the first time you're hearing that I'm loud, just like you?
Go ahead. Make it whack just like me.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. That's what the Blooms are known for.
Okay.
Do you remember in school when we'd like have graduation? So my school, we would graduate 5th grade, we graduated 8th grade, and then we graduated 12th grade.
And the mothers made it like it was a fucking graduation. You're not graduating middle school. You don't graduate elementary school.
But our school made it a big deal. 5th grade, you graduated. 8th grade, you graduated. And 12th grade.
Yeah,
and it was like a big deal, all of them.
Graduate.
But do you remember
5th grade?
They would always like, the principal during the ceremonies would always say, please hold your applause until the end to be like fair to everyone because some people might have more family there, some people might not have. So it's not going to be as loud of applause for everyone.
Making everybody equal, but fucking.
Which I don't. Yeah, that is a stupid rule.
But they asked.
But I remember the principal would literally say that to 700 people in the auditorium or whatever, and then he would go, Mr. Bloom, I'm speaking to you specifically. Mr. Wing would literally call you out in front of the whole thing, and he'd be like, Bloom family, this is for you.
And I would say, I don't care, right? And I'd say in front of everybody, I don't care.
Yeah, and we would cheer, and then we'd cheer on all our friends as well.
Do you know they actually called me up one year? Mr. Wing, did you know that? Mr. Wing called me.
Oh, like phoned you. Yes, yeah. You said called me up. I thought you meant like onto the stage.
Called me on the telephone.
Gotcha. I misunderstood.
Okay. Julia. Okay, called me on the telephone.
Oh, wow, Julie got a shout out.
And as a result, and literally said, where I know I can't force you to do it. And I was friends with Mr. Wing, but the board asked that I call you. Seriously.
Yeah.
You remember that? And said, if you could just hold your applause to the very end of the graduation. And I said, Mr. Wing, you can let the board know that you did what they asked and tell them, nope, I paid $35,000 a year per kid for 12 years. I am fucking yelling, screaming, doing what I want to do. First Amendment right. But I appreciate your phone call. Let them know the answer is no.
Yeah. And it's like, that's what graduation is for.
Is that not funny?
Yeah, it's great.
And then to get further retarded on this thing is I had parents of their own kids that I would watch play sports and or graduation. They would ask me before the sporting event or the graduation the morning of or day of when we're walking in, could you yell for my kid?
That's
no.
hilarious.
And I would say to them, I look at them like this. I'm like, see, this is why you need to watch on YouTube. I look at them like this. Don't explain how I'm looking so people can
look into the camera like you would look at them.
I'd be like, are you fucking kidding me? You have your own fucking kid. Yell for your own fucking kid. And now, now I'm going to pan away from the camera again. And now
back to me.
Okay. But could you imagine? Like, grow a fucking pair of balls.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't give a shit.
I mean, that's even ballsy to ask someone else to yell for your kid.
Well, they're friends of mine, but I just think it's stupid. Imagine me saying, yell for my kid. I'm the parent.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how we rolled.
Oh, yeah, of course. We were always the loudest. But
I like to say most supportive.
But that's why I'm saying you were like, you're so loud. And I go, it's a Bloom thing. That's just part of our family. That's what we are known for.
It is one of the many things.
It's literally what we're known for in the community that we live in.
We're known for a lot more things than that, but it's one of them.
We're known for a lot more things. Being obnoxious.
No,
I'm joking. We're podcasting. We're like the podcasters of Boca. Is there another podcast in this town?
I don't, other than just Shapiro, Ben, who's Shapiro now.
Well, he doesn't podcast from Boca.
Where's he podcast from?
Their company is in Nashville.
So he lives here because there?
He lives here because his parents live here. So he moved like his family down here, and he goes back and forth between Nashville and Boca.
All right. Well, we like to keep it homegrown.
We're the podcasters.
We support
Boca.
our city. We support our city.
Yeah. Hell yeah, Boca.
Okay, you don't want to watch that on video. Be thankful you're not watching that.
Boca also is the name of our city. Literally is the mouth of the rat in Spanish.
Okay, so
Boca Raton. That's so weird. Why? I wonder why.
Maybe there are a lot of rats.
No, it's got to be
geographical way.
I would imagine it's something with like the inlet.
Looks on a map
by the resort, like how the inlet is.
But
like the mouth
make it
of
a different fucking make it
the mouth of the fish.
Fox.
Yeah,
because they will have long snouts.
Like rat. Why rat? It's so weird.
I don't know. Some Buddha named it Ponce de Leon. Some fucking person named
Ponce de Leon. Yeah, Ponce de Leon founded our city that we live in 1642.
Who founded our city?
I don't fucking know, but not Ponce de Leon.
Moishe Steinberg?
No, it was. Interestingly enough, though, Boca was like a lot of Japanese when it first started. That's why we have more kami, and that's why Yamato Road. Yamato is a Japanese man.
I got it.
All
right,
which is kind of weird. There aren't many Japanese here now.
No, there's a lot of Japs.
But it used to be. That's true. A lot of Japs now, but different kind of
Japanese, right?
It's funny if you call a Japanese person a Jap, that's very wrong. If you call a Jewish person a Jap,
it's what
funny.
It is.
Actually, it's kind
no,
of
because we don't give a fuck. It's like move on. We don't care.
But also, it's not used as a slur. Where like Jap for Japanese is used as a slur because that's when like people would
for
put them in
us.
camps.
Jap for us is more like a descriptive thing.
Right. For those who don't, I would imagine a lot of our listeners don't know what a Jap is, what we're referring to. It stands for Jewish American Princess. Oh, wait, did you talk about it with Mom? Yeah, you did, because you were like, I was attracted to Jappy girls.
But they might, Mom's a Jap.
Yeah. It's just like a Jewish chick who is like...
Chick? What's a chick? For those who don't know what a chick is.
It's a Jewish girl who is just kind of spoiled.
High maintenance.
Like
doesn't want to go on camera without lipstick or her hair done.
Although she did. That was a big step for her.
Oh, no, but she had her lipstick on. That's why it took a minute to get in. I guarantee it. The lipstick was 100% fresh.
Yeah, you might be right.
No, I know I'm right. I know her. All right. What do we got on the list today,
You
Ronnie?
know her? You know your wife?
What do you think you know somebody?
We do have a lot of things on the list.
Yes. What are we going to talk about?
We have a lot of things on the list.
We're going to talk about Israel.
Are we?
I don't know.
We can. Or I was thinking we save that for the bonus episode because we can go for an hour on that. Because we got in an argument yesterday. Might have been the biggest argument we've had in a long time, not on the show.
Is it really an argument?
Yes.
That was an argument? Were you
We
offended?
were yelling at No,
you were yelling. I was having...
please. You were going like this to me, and then I did it, and you were like, get your finger out of my face.
At first, I don't speak like that. I wasn't.
Yes, you do. You literally do.
I do not. I literally do not.
We got into a big argument. An argument for me doesn't have to be, I hate you. I just am arguing something. So we were both arguing.
Fair enough.
We weren't arguing personally. We were arguing about ideas.
And you were wrong.
Thoughts.
I was right.
I was so 100%
Oh,
right.
you fucking idiot.
No, because you didn't listen to me. You weren't understanding what I was saying.
Because you weren't clear in how you presented
I was
yourself.
super clear. Burke
You were
and
wrong.
Dan were both like, Bronson's making sense.
Wrong. 100%. Dan didn't even stick to the issues.
Dan literally said, Bronson has a point, John. You have to hear what he said.
No. Okay. That's so not
And that's
true.
your best friend.
That's so not true. That's so not
He
true.
literally said it. He was sitting next to me.
You want
and
to
he
call
said
him
it.
Ma? Dan!
But we'll continue that debate because I think in the bonus episode.
So for those who want to listen, you better join fucking
Join our
Patreon.
Patreon.
And how do you join in Patreon, Ronnie?
Patreon.com/DaddyIssuesPod.
That's right. And we're coming close to the end of the month. We'll do a 3-hour Zoom with everybody.
We will be on Zoom soon. Yeah.
And if those who want to see a good video of me doing my...
I guess let's just plug all our shit right now.
Me doing a quick little dance scene. You go on my Instagram at Jon Savage Bloom. That's Jon.
I'll put it up right here. It'll come up
Will you?
right here. Yeah.
Put it up there, but they don't have to. Not everyone watches.
not everyone watching.
JONSAVAGE Bloom. BLOOM. And that's my Instagram. Jon Savage Bloom.
And mine's Bronson Bloom. Bronson with an E. BRONSEN.
Right. So we want people to also follow because we put some good shit. We're starting to post a little bit more on a weekly basis now, and I think you'll like the post I put of me doing a karaoke with my two pips.
What are pips?
Gladys Knight and the Pips. I call them my pips.
Why? Because they're black?
No, they're just my backup
Were the
singers.
Pips black, the real Pips? Who's Gladys Knight? I don't know who that is.
Oh yeah. You know it.
The Gladys Knight either sounds like a black woman or like an old
she was
grandma.
Like she was like Diana Ross. She was huge back.
Okay, I know Diana
You're like,
Ross.
who's Diana Ross?
No, I know that.
But the Pips were like a big backup singers. So that's not because they're black.
Okay.
They were good dancers. They were nice girls.
The ones in your video.
Yeah,
were
you're
good
like
dancers.
we had fun, Mom and I last night.
All right, let's get to some stuff. We'll see, because the thing with the Israel story that's going on, it's just like there's so much to talk about with it that I feel like we need to devote time to it. And we already have talked about for 20 minutes about nonsense, and I have a lot of other stuff to get to. So I think we'll save it unless you want to talk about it.
No, that's very democratic of you, but no, we'll postpone that.
Okay. So that if you want to hear that conversation, it'll come out on Wednesday.
Right,
On
if
our
you're a
Patreon.
Patreon member.
Right. Okay. There's a lot of things to talk about. I guess we can go into.
And for those of you who think about it or don't know whatever, we don't plan. Our podcasts are fully off the cuff. I don't know any of the
Who
topics.
thinks we? Yeah.
People do ask me a lot. People
What,
ask.
like if we write out all our stuff beforehand?
Yeah. So did you ever respond to that guy I texted you last night?
Yes.
Was that cigar? But you did
sent
send
the
back.
link.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So I have no idea what Bronson's going to bring up, and then we talk about it. Go ahead, Bronny.
Right. I like read stuff throughout the week, and I'm like, oh, that'll be interesting to talk about. That'll get triggered by that. And I'm like, I'm interested in that. So I just write like literally the only things I have. So I have my computer here, and I just have like one word notes. Like I literally right here just wrote Bigfoot. Another thing I wrote was Black James Bond. Another thing I wrote was no one is working. So like I just have like little thoughts and I put them down. And then that's what we go off. Do you want to pick one of those that I just read out?
You talk about it.
You were the one actually that sent me the Black James Bond thing. And not only is it Black
aggravates me.
James Bond,
It's a woman.
but it's a black female.
No,
James
it
Bond.
angers me.
Why?
Why do you think?
I have my own reasons, but I
Okay.
want to hear your reasons.
Because James Bond is a defined, not identity, but I guess an identity and a person and a certain style and look. It's like, for example, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Are we going to now make him where he has like a diamond nose instead of a red nose? It has nothing to do with racial, non-racial, or things like that. And it's not even a stereotype. It's who James Bond is. Okay? Just like Q is a British person. You're not going to make Q a Jamaican dude with dreadlocks. It's just not going to work.
Okay.
That's what it is. So to now make it a black female as James Bond is a fucking joke. If you want to come up with another movie, first of all, every movie now.
But it's not going to be James Bond. She's just taking over the mantle of 007, which is an agent title. Okay. There was a 007 before James Bond was 007.
No, but 007 is affiliated in parallel to James Bond. James Bond has always been
But it's
Bond,
a position.
James Bond.
But 007 is a position.
You understand, but there's a difference. Technically, 007 is the name.
Job title.
Is the job title. Okay?
Right.
And there's different agents that fill that. But it's always been a continuity of, there's never been like we got the old one died and we got a new one. They just,
it's always been the same character.
Like Batman.
Right.
Batman never had a transition where they ended one Batman and a new Batman came in, just like the Joker. They just figured, we're just going to cut it here and start with a new actor playing the same role. So, for example, you have that, and it's based off certain books or cartoons and things like that. So there's a visual aspect.
And James Bond was off books.
Correct. So there's a visual aspect of it, whether it's you saw in a cartoon or descriptive in a novel, and what we've seen over the 50 years, if not more, of in the movies. Okay, so to go ahead and now replace it, which now to me is again more to make a statement about African American, make it racial. In addition to that, now make it a woman thing because let's empower women more, and because everything is against. If you're a white male, you're the villain. We were watching. So last night we went out with our friends, and before we went out, we went to go pick them up. We're at their house, and their daughter's watching that show series Revenge. Okay, and she had subtitles on because I guess while we're talking. So even mom was with me, and the woman who's it's funny. They live in the Hamptons. The people, and they're like very powerful. It's one couple, and the woman like she's the one that runs Ruth. She doesn't fucking work. Her husband's the one working. But she's the one dictating, run the husband's ass around. The money, obviously, guys, you think comes from the husband because he's the one working, okay? And she starts talking to her other girlfriend. Yeah, all men can't be trusted. It's a matter of time before they betray you, whatever. And even mom like said, what? And this is the image that's going across to villainize men, especially white men. So to me, and to empower women and racial stuff, racial political correctness. I don't think James Bond 007 in any capacity, if they want to come up with another movie.
Or just do like 008.
Wait, if they want to come up with another thing and do that, for example, Black Panther, that's fine, it's been around. They're not taking Black Panther. Now that's from years ago from Marvel, right? From comics.
Decades, yeah.
Decades. They're not taking Black Panther and change it now to go ahead and make it put a
they
white
are to Captain America. They did that.
The other way.
Right.
That's my point. So I'm saying, so they're not taking Black Panther and making him Asian. They're not doing that. So my point is, it's got to fucking stop.
I agree with you on that. Like, they can all coexist. Why do we have to get rid of one to, like, why can't we build out a James Bond universe and have 007 as James Bond and then 008 is this new black chick?
But why even do that? My point is that there are, for example,
I think that'll be interesting because then it also can get, the reason why I have the problem with it is because James Bond as a franchise, as a story, is like is very masculine. It's not marketed towards women.
No one's watching that, just so you know.
Right. Well, because it's literally not a movie for women ever.
Bronson.
It's always been the story is about a very masculine macho man womanizer who goes around, saves the world, doing spy stuff.
And action.
Women aren't interested in that.
They're not watching that. Okay.
It's not for women, so I don't understand why they're
going to
changing
fuck
it for
it
women.
up. They're
going to lose a bunch of money.
They're going to wait. So Ghostbusters.
Right.
Ghostbusters were 4 guys. It was funny. They were comedians. It was just easy. It worked.
And also, like, it was a slapstick comedy movie about ghost hunting. That is very, both of those things are masculine. Ghost hunting but either way, slapstick comedy.
It worked. Ghostbusters, when I grew up, was a huge success. Now, a lot of times they take and they do a remake of it, and sometimes it's successful, sometimes they're not. But you can't take that and turn it into where it's now purposefully women. Nobody wants to fucking watch it.
It failed.
Of course
miserably.
it failed. I
also Ocean's 8. They took Ocean's 11, which is also a very masculine movie. Women aren't as, in general, men like Ocean's 11, the movie, more than women do. A heist movie with a bunch of men stealing stuff in like stylish ways. That's not a feminine thing to enjoy.
No, men want to watch these movies. You can't take a Bruce Lee kung fu movie and women don't want to watch it. That's okay. That's what it's entertainment for.
Or like the movie Atomic Blonde that came out, which was like the female version
and I like her, but
of John Wick. It's like women don't want to, in general, watch it. Women aren't that as interested in men as in going to see big action movies where a bunch of people get brutally murdered.
Which is okay. That's Bronson. It's entertainment value.
And can't we have our own things?
Listen, that's my point. Listen, it's entertainment value. You watch what you want to watch. You like it. So things are clearly geared towards men and things are geared towards women. It doesn't have to be across the board or overlap or equal. So I am telling you, let them fucking do it. Let them fucking fail, which they 100% will. There is no reason to be a fucking female black 007, period. I don't care the hottest chick in the world. I don't think it should be 007, period.
I just think that I'm all for people, like especially in Hollywood. The whole goal of movies is to make money. That's the only reason why movies exist, is to make money. They're just a product. It's something to sell.
Right, the movie is a commodity.
Right, so it makes sense if you're a movie studio, like especially with the big ones, right? Like 007, I believe, is Paramount, James Bond franchise. So if you're Paramount, it makes sense that you would want to be able to get everyone's money, right? You'd want your product to be sold to as many people and demographic as possible, because then you make more money. So it makes sense to me when movies like try to be diverse in terms of their casting and stuff, because all they're trying to do
is
at
bring
the end
as
of the day
many people
is
watch. I
get people to relate to it. But then that's why I think this is problematic, because it's like you're not just trying to get as many people as possible. You're specifically getting rid of one demographic to bring in another. And it's like, why can't both just exist? Why can't they should make a 007 movie with James Bond for men to go watch? They should make a 008 movie with a female for females to go watch.
Why make a 008 movie? My point is, just keep what it is and come with a new fucking idea, a new movie. It's not about making the James Bond franchise. It's literally, this is when they branded it. It's right. All these places want to brand, like Nike brands, Under Armour brands. You can McDonald's. You can look at something and know what it is. So when you see 007 or you see Bond, it's fucking branded from numerous years of doing it. You want to come with something different, knock yourself out, but it doesn't have to always be where we're going to do it to show, one, politically correct, or two is it's anti-man, or if it's racial shit. It's got to. That's why my point is with Captain America, I don't care. I don't care about black or white. I wanted to watch Captain America for what it was, not a political statement. They fucked it up. Black Panther, why don't they take a fucking good-looking white guy and make him the fucking Black Panther? And Wakanda, take everyone that's there with fucking Wakanda and make everyone there fucking white, because otherwise it's not fair. It's the same exact shit. But
it's not about being fair. We know that. It's not about being...
Forget about... I know it's not going to be fair, but my point is, don't fucking do it then. I watched Black Panther. I didn't care. It had no meaning to me. I watched because I enjoyed... That was the character from the comics years ago. It's fucking cool as shit. The action's great. And I loved it.
But a lot of people went to see that, like, enjoyed that movie not for those reasons. They enjoyed it for, like, the black empowerment, seeing their faces in the media.
But it's not black empowerment. It's based off of a comic book. That's how it was written.
The comic book was also written for, like, black empowerment anyways. That was Marvel's attempt to, like, get the black market.
I think Black Panther was great. I think it's great. But
that's why he's named Black Panther. It came... I think he was written like pretty soon after the Black Panther group,
right. Which is fine.
Yeah,
but it's
but that's what I'm saying. Like
it's
with 007,
it's a movie.
Like Marvel has all these different. They have Shang-Chi coming out, the Asian superhero. So they have like an Asian one, they have a black one, they have the white one, they have the female one, Captain Marvel. They're trying to make movies for everyone, which I think is okay.
But those movies are based on the comics.
Yeah,
we're not rewriting comics. It's based on I think it was branded. Superman is what he's a white character.
Is this character the new black female? She's not James Bond. Like she's not taking that.
She can't because the name, she's a woman.
Right.
Unless you're
but did that happen in the books?
Listen,
I don't think it did.
Wait. What if they go crazy and say they call her James Bond because she can identify with whoever she wants to be? I'm making a joke, but there's the truth to that. So is Aquaman wrong? They're going to change the Aqua person?
I mean, he's not even a person.
No, but he is part person.
He's half person.
Right,
half
but my point is, it's if you don't like come out with new stuff, but those things are already existed.
I agree. Just
they're not derogatory towards racism. They're not. None of Aquaman is not against women.
right.
It's just Aquaman.
And just if you want a female Aquaman, come up with a really cool story that's like a female
Right.
Aquaman.
Do what you want.
Just don't take Aquaman and make it Aquawoman. Just make a cool one. Make your own.
Fuckers. So yeah, I have a real fucking hard time with it being a black female for 007. I will not go see it, and nobody will go see it. I just want you to know, women not seeing it.
It's not going to do as well as a James Bond movie will.
As well, it's not even going to fucking do it.
I agree, but that's why I'm just saying it's not going to do well like a James Bond movie would.
It's ridiculous. Let's again emasculate the man,
James Bond movies are good.
villainize the white male. They're terrible.
That is the culture we live in, mainstream. I think most of America is not part of that culture. Most of America is anti that whole trend.
I agree.
But I think the
They're going to harm themselves. They're going to harm themselves.
That's the
twist on it.
That's the agenda of the media and like city liberals. But city liberals are not that numerous in this country. They're just very loud.
They're going to ruin it. So they're going to ruin their own pockets. So fucking let them their own financial pockets.
Well, I mean, Hollywood is hemorrhaging money.
Good.
All the studios except Disney, all the other studios are hemorrhaging money. Like they're not doing well at all. Not compared to 5 years ago. Because it's because all the biggest box office movie of this year was Godzilla vs. Kong. Which it surprised all the stats.
Should we make Godzilla a female?
Well, what I'm saying is I think that shows what people want. People are over Hollywood trying to give messages. They just want to go to the movies for entertainment.
And you should.
Right. And that's why it was the number one thing. And it surprised everyone's projections did not have it doing well and had all the other movies doing better. And then that one came out and just destroyed all the other movies at the box office. All right. Support for Daddy Issues for this week was brought to us by Manscaped and the new Lawnmower 4.0, which Dad has right in front of him.
I got to tell you, Bronny, I had the prior version to this. Fucking night and day. This is like the Rolls Royce of Manscaped. First of all, it's what I love. There's no cord, so it's wireless, which is great. Not only can you use it when it's wet and dry, but I love the friggin' light. See the light?
Yeah, the new 4.0 has a light on it. But we honestly, the two of us have been. I mean, the fact that Manscaped is even sponsoring this episode is huge for us because we've been happy customers for 3 years. We've been using their products.
Years.
And look, as you guys probably know, and we've talked about, and as you can see visually, I
Wolfman.
am fucking hairy. He calls me Wolfman. I have hair all over my body. Like, so imagine what it's like in my underwear below the belt. It's not a pretty sight when it's not groomed. And
his hair is like friggin' Brillo.
The hair literally is, my hair is so coarse that laser hair removal doesn't work on it. But I've been using Manscaped products for years, and especially this new Lawnmower 4.0
Phenomenal.
with the advanced like skin safe technology that they have in there. Literally, I can go on my jungle of a ball sack with this thing without anything, and it's no cuts. Like literally just whoop, no cuts, and shaves all the hair off.
Yeah, it's really, I got to tell you something. I've used it on my chest, my balls, my ass. Not like I'm not hairy like you, but the other ones sometimes do prick, and I want to keep my face one separate, so I have two of them, one for my face and
very
nose,
important. You don't want
and one for
your
my ass and my balls.
Shit all
right. Especially yours,
in your face.
Like nasty, like Brillo.
Yeah.
But this thing, first of all, you could tell what a difference in the new generation, because
I was using the first generation for years. Manscaped sent us these 4.0s, which is their fourth generation,
and we're one of the new. This is brand spanking new, dude.
No, it's night and day, really.
Yeah. First of all, the style, the look, the way it feels, but seriously, when you hold it, the weight of it is amazing.
But for me, like the light on the new one is great.
I love that. Look at that.
So
let me shave your head right now, quick.
Do it.
No, I'm not doing it. No way.
Do it. So if you guys want to support the show, if you want an awesome product as a guy, which honestly everyone needs.
Wait, let me interrupt for a minute.
Yeah.
Everyone we know does fucking manscaping.
Every
Everyone.
single
They
guy
do.
over
Right.
15 years old needs one of these.
No, but
truthfully.
they're doing it.
Yeah.
They're doing it. And if they were like me, they were doing it with either a non-Manscaped, which I never did. I did the old version of Manscaped.
Right.
Okay, with the cord. It's a whole different story. And so you're doing it. If you want to upgrade, and I think you're worth an upgrade, you go with the newest version of the best in the business Manscaped. Okay, it is truly
you want
the
to,
best.
your balls are important to you.
Your body. What do you mean?
And you want to take care of your balls, and you want them to look good for the women, and just for yourself.
Wait, and doesn't your penis look bigger when you clean it?
Oh, it truly does.
So it's not an illusion. It's the
So
truth.
guys, join over 2 million men in owning Manscaped products with our exclusive offer, 20% off. So if you want 20% off and free shipping, use the code DaddyIssues20 at manscaped.com. Get yourself a lawnmower 4.0. They have other great products like a lotion for after you shave. It like as an aftershave, it smells really good.
You never leave the house.
That's 20% off, free shipping at manscaped.com. The code is DaddyIssues20. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
007. They're gonna ruin it. You'll see.
Yeah, I think they probably will. But that was the topic that you brought up, so good job.
Thanks, Bronny.
You emailed it to me.
Yeah.
If we want to keep down this track, it's actually a great segue because I said Disney, and this is all about Disney. So great segue. Look at that, guys. Disney was in the news last week for a lot of reasons. I have 3 separate things to talk about that Disney did this week, or that's going on about Disney. Remember the like Coca-Cola Be Less White corporate training? So Disney had a leaked corporate training thing that was leaked. It was like what someone posted it somewhere or whatever. And I'll just tell you what it's about.
Oh God.
So this article, so they have a new plan that they were sending to their employees called Reimagine Tomorrow. And this is like for new employees, it's like an employee handbook type thing that all Disney employees in the parks and the corporate offices, whatever, have had to read this. And it's the Reimagine Tomorrow campaign is urging workers to recognize their white privilege in a
Wait. Say that again?
Yeah, so it's urging workers to recognize their white privilege in a battery of training modules on topics such as systemic racism and white fragility. Staffers are told to reject equality for equity and must reflect on America's racist infrastructure and think carefully whether or not their wealth is derived from racism. This is what Disney is telling their employees. Disney, a company about a mouse.
I'm not even commenting on it. I can't.
In one of the courses called Allyship for Race Consciousness, workers are taught that the U.S. has a long history of systemic racism and transphobia, and told that they must, quote, take ownership of educating yourself about structural anti-black racism.
Isn't there other racism besides just black, though? Why are we narrowing it down to just black?
Well, this is racist
Yes.
towards me
Correct. No, but my point is, why is it just only to black people?
because that's what racism in America means now.
But that's not what racism is.
Of course. If someone says they don't want to be friends with me because I'm white, they're racist. But that's permissible in America. That's not seen as racist, but it is by definition racist.
See, I think that people should be educated on not being racist and not being ignorant. But I don't think we need to go back to this whole thing of your wealth is due to. So I had a client in my office the other day. Okay, very nice, good people, educated, Yale. He's black. Great guy, really great guy. He's a Yale grad, my age, and I started talking about this stuff. But we're talking normally. We weren't talking in a because the night before I watched one of my favorite movies, Django, which I love Django.
Django Unchained.
Yeah, and I've seen it probably 35 times. And I was watching it, and I'm being honest with you, when I was watching it that night before, so this is probably maybe Thursday or Wednesday night, it bothered me. I liked the movie, but it bothered me. Like, how do fucking people treat people so poorly? Like, I was angry.
Like
why?
and slave times you're talking about.
Yeah, I was angry, and I really enjoy the movie because I like everyone's acting in it. I just like the movie, but it did it, and I don't know why, but I mean I know why, but it angered me to watch like who the fuck are these people to treat them like property, own them, and be so nasty to them, and when they were feeding the guy to the dogs, that one scene, whatever, and it fucking angered me. Like I know I'm watching a movie, but I want to like beat the shit out of those fucking people. Okay. So then I'm doing this matter for this client / friend, and he's black. And I was telling him about it. I was talking about it, and I was talking about this whole stuff. And I didn't tell him about the podcast or anything because it could come off in a way where I sound like I'm racist, although I don't think that I am. I just think that I'm tired of the whole shit and thrown in your face and being told a certain way and me being discriminated on race because I'm white, right? It's the complete opposite of what they're saying.
And when you say all this stuff, which I know you're not racist. And when you criticize all this stuff, you're not criticizing black people. You're criticizing what's happening with movements going on in this country.
Correct. And I don't, because I'm going to like you or not like you because of who you are and not how you're born. I don't give a fuck, okay? So we were talking about it, and we really was getting it, and he kept mentioning systemic racism. And the conversation was about 10 minutes because we had to both get going, but we said we want to grab a drink and we want to I said, I want to have this. I'm not saying I agree with everything you're saying, but maybe you can help educate me and vice versa.
And it's always interesting to get someone else's who comes from a different background world than you.
I would never understand. Like he said, you could never understand being like he says his father was an engineer for a major company, but he didn't, and was very educated, but his father could not progress the same way a white person could, and therefore could not make the same amount of money. And he was saying, therefore, if his father had the same opportunities as a white person back then, his father would have made more money, and therefore him, my friend / client, would have had more money because when his father died or whatever, he would have had more money.
Or he would have, as a kid, had been able to go to a better school, been able to afford better
and I get
tutoring,
that.
whatever.
And there is that one can make that argument. But there's also no guarantee that his father would have made more money even if he was white, number one. There's no guarantee. And two, like for example, you could say the same thing about Jews or any other kind of people who might, a sect that might have been discriminated among, right? So we didn't get into the debate of it because we didn't have time. But and then he said, which is a very valid point. This was a very valid point. He said, you don't go to any schools that are named Adolf Hitler. But in the South, we go to, there's schools out there still are like General Lee, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Okay. And whatever. I said, that's a valid point.
That's what I've said to you when you're like, they should, when they were tearing down Confederate statues, and I was like, they should absolutely tear down Confederate statues. And I have two reasons why I think they should. One, because those men were like literally slave owners and were fighting for that. And then two, they were literally traitors to our country. So in the United States of America, anything Confederate is literally saying we don't want America to be a country. So that should not be allowed by the federal government. The federal government should not allow any states to be involved with anything Confederate because it's literally, by definition, traitors to the country.
Okay, but
even if it's history.
But I know I don't want to go back to our debate we had at brunch yesterday, which was saved for the Patreon. But what I'm saying, so I said to him, you have a valid point. I agree with you. But there's a process to go through it. For example, you have to follow certain processes and procedures to change things. You can't take the law into your own hand. Now, I don't want to get in that debate with you.
But then let me ask you this, this is Black Lives Matter, the movement, what they say when they riot on the streets. They say, well, and if you said to them, there's a process to do it, that's what people say. And they go, we've tried. They say, we've tried for 70 years. We've tried the process.
Okay.
We've done the protests. In the 50s, we marched with Martin Luther King. In the 60s, we marched with Martin Luther King. In the 70s, we had the Black Panthers and Malcolm X. And we've tried. And they say, it doesn't work. So then what do you do? Like with Confederate statues, let's say you're in Mississippi and there's a Confederate statue that the town wants, but the state government is like, No. What do you?
So does that give you a right? Does that give you a right to take the law into your own hands?
In this country, I think it does because that's how we were founded.
No, does that give you a
This
right
country
to
was literally
damage
founded
people's
on it.
businesses and properties? Does that give you damage to beat up police? Does that give you the right to go ahead and deface and destroy government property?
But that
you're not going to change my mind.
But it's
on
also
that.
because you're on the side. You're on the side of that. You agree with what the police are doing. If we were to go to Nazi Germany, because it's just an easy parallel. If we were Jews in Germany, you say this all the time. You say the Jews back then were weak because they didn't fight. They just went along with it. They let the police and the Gestapo and the SS just take them to the camps. They didn't fight back. There were plenty of Germans in Nazi Germany that were just like, these are just the police. They're just doing their job.
Okay, but the difference is, though, Bronson, today. So
would you have fought back?
No, listen.
Wait, if the Gestapo, which were just the police, like Boca Raton police.
Yes, I would have fought back.
If Boca Raton police came to our door, is the same thing as if the Gestapo in Munich.
The answer is yes, I would fight back. But the difference is, Bronson.
But Dad, you're breaking the law.
No, listen to me for a minute. Listen to me.
The law in Nazi, but Dad, the law in Nazi Germany.
Let me finish. Let
Okay.
me finish. Slavery was wrong, and there's no more slavery.
Slavery was legal.
Listen, but there's no more slavery.
Wait, but
No, listen, but there's no more slavery. We've grown past that.
you're missing a component, Dad. You're missing a component. You're saying the law is the law, and if you want to change, you have to go through. Wait. Can you let me finish? You're saying the law is the law, and you can't break it. If you want to change it, you have to go through the proper channels. But then you're now also saying slavery is wrong, and we've moved past it. But in 1812 in this country, slavery was not viewed as wrong in the eyes of the government because it was literally in the laws, written in the laws.
Mm-hmm.
Half of the country didn't like it, and they wanted to change it. So you know what they did? Started a war.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they did. They didn't go into the government and say, let's change laws, because they tried to and it didn't work. They tried to change the laws and it didn't work, so they had to literally break down businesses and burn down towns, and that was the Civil War.
All right, so then I guess we're going to have a civil war then.
But what you're saying is, you're saying the law is the law and you shouldn't break it, but you also, if you don't like the law, you can't fight against it. You have to work within the system.
No.
But what if the system is inherently wrong and it favors inherently wrong things? The system back in the day, you believe that slavery is inherently wrong and should not have been a law. But it was, and the system supported it. So you couldn't change it. You couldn't. They literally had to fight a 6-year war to change it. So those are two thoughts of yours that can't coexist, and that's what I'm saying. So you're saying the law's the law. To burn down a business is so disrespectful because the law is the law.
No.
But then the people are saying, right, we know the law is the law, but we can't get it changed. We can't get it changed.
So burning down and going through streets and burning buildings and burning people's businesses that have nothing to do with that's okay?
So then they should just listen to the law?
No, I'm just saying that's okay.
None of it's okay. But then that's how we get war. In Germany, in 1936, we would not support the laws that were there. And we either had two options. Fight, accept three options. Fight, accept it, or leave.
I think, you know what, Bronson, you use...
And no one fought.
No, Bronson.
The Jews didn't fight, and you say they were weak for not fighting.
Correct. So here's my point. Let me finish.
Then black people in America are fighting, and you're saying this is disrespectful.
What I'm saying is, listen, no. What I'm saying is the following. That if you're, for example, like if you're thing called self-defense, right? So if somebody threatens your physical well-being, you can use self-defense, and that's a valid defense to you, let's say, killing somebody and defending your position. But if you're not I can't pull my gun on somebody or kill somebody if it doesn't justify it. So if you're a slave and you're being held hostage by someone as a slave, or what Hitler did to the Jews, then that affects you personally.
Go back to
then you
slaves.
self-defend.
So
you defend yourself.
No. If a slave if a slave master in
I
18
get why the war was.
but,
I
but no,
get that.
wait, I'm not
I
saying
get it.
if a slave master in 1817, if you were a slave and your master said, go do that, go pick that up for me, and you said no, and then they like whipped you and you hit them back as self-defense. They attacked you first and you were self-defending yourself. You broke the law.
Okay, Bronson. First of all, don't point at me and get like that. Let me explain something to you.
But would that be?
No, you're not. You're not. Let me finish. You're not. Let me. You're saying the same thing
Because you're
four
not
times.
hearing.
I
You're not
hear
understanding
you.
me.
Oh no, Bronson. Let me be very clear. Okay, just because I don't agree with you, I understand.
No, because I'm
you.
saying things and you're not saying.
I understand you
Because you're still saying two things that can't happen together, and you're saying, "But I agree with. I think both of these happen."
No, I think there's a subpart to it. I'm saying that we have to follow up, but if it's your physical well-being and it's against harming you, okay, not your ideology and so, if it's physically harming you, then for example, if someone came in and wanted to take, and the law was to, and they say we can come in and now rape all the women,
But let's not work in hypotheticals. Let's literally work in this slave and slave master case. So this is not even a hypothetical. This is things that would have happened and real laws.
I'm okay with that war.
Wait. But let's go to the specific example. So you're a slave.
Bronson,
Your
you
master
said
attacked
it.
you.
You said it.
But
you got it. You said it.
So your master attacked you. You hit him. You just broke the law.
Correct.
Is that fine to you? Is that fine for you?
I have no problem with somebody's going to physically harm someone else for that person to do what they need to do to protect themselves.
Okay.
Law or no law.
So it's cool to break the law. So because your whole thing is laws are laws.
No, that's not my whole thing. No.
So
that's not my whole thing. You're wrong. You're wrong.
So it's okay to break the law in certain circumstances.
Bronson,
Because if the slave master, if the slave is defending himself,
Bronson, what I'm saying is you can't make just a full 110% general statement. I'm telling you that if, for example, your physical well-being, okay, and I believe your freedoms are taken away or your liberties are taken away and affects you personally, okay, I have no problem with defending my position or anyone else for that matter.
okay, so then let me take that sentence.
But I don't think
You get so mad at me when
I'm not getting mad at you.
No, but you don't let me. Okay. So
If you play this back, you would the one talking the most on this thing. So come on.
I think it's been pretty equal, but whatever. So I'm going to take your sentence that you just said. If your freedoms or liberties or physical safety is in jeopardy, and you said you're allowed to defend yourself, let me add an addendum to it. Are you allowed to defend yourself by breaking the law, or are you not? Are you not allowed to break the law?
I think anybody.
That's a yes or no.
No, that's not a yes or no. I'm going to answer the way I want to answer it, not the way you want me to fucking answer it. I'm going to answer the way I want to answer it.
But that's why you keep repeating the same things, and I'm like, yeah, because I'm not getting answers.
No, you are getting. You're just not getting the answer that you want to hear.
Okay, what's the answer?
Don't you think?
No, I would love for you to say no. Or
don't
yes,
don't you understand that just because I don't answer it the way you want my answer to be doesn't mean it's not an answer?
No, there's because you will go into a different thing.
No.
Okay,
that's
so
not
then,
true.
So then answer my question, please, in the way you want to.
Your question is again?
You said I'm totally okay with someone defending themselves.
Yes, I know.
They're
okay, so take George Floyd, right? Right, that's his name, George Floyd.
Okay, see, so
no,
this is the answer to my question.
I'm answering with an analogy.
So take George Floyd as the
he
answer to
has
my
a police
question.
officer on his neck doing what he shouldn't have been doing to a police officer. I'm not making a racial thing. I'm talking about George Floyd as a person. The police officer is a bad police officer.
His physical safety was being harmed.
If he was able to break loose and fucking kill that police officer and do what he needed to do to subdue him, to stop him, whatever, and so George Floyd wouldn't be harmed, I think it's 100% fully permissible.
So you would have been totally okay if you would have said this shouldn't go to court if Floyd killed Derek Chauvin because Chauvin's neck was knee was on his neck. I can't believe you believe that.
People going to court is a different question.
So you're saying it's okay. You said permissible. You said it's okay for him.
If a police officer was beating me, I would do whatever the fuck I want to beat the shit out of a police officer.
See, okay, this is very interesting. So you're totally okay.
It's not very interesting. It's the reality. I think anyone would do that. Anyone should have the right to self-defense.
I found it. I said I find that interesting. You said it. It's not very.
Anyone would agree with that. There's no one that would not agree that if someone is being physically harmed, okay, they should have a right to defend themselves. Who I like to meet someone that doesn't think
I
that.
agree as well, but this goes back to you have different. So you said but here's the thing. So you said at the top of this, you said laws are laws, and if you don't like them, you have to change them. You can't burn down things. You can't fight. You have to work within the system to change laws. You said that 17 minutes ago, whenever. But now you're saying if a police officer attacks you or whatever, you're allowed to break the law.
No, what I said was I said if your physical being is being harmed,
and you also, or you said your liberties or your freedoms as well. Okay. You said that.
But that does. But listen. But I can't harm somebody. If, for example, if I say, I'm being discriminated because I am white, that does not give me the right to go ahead and harm a police officer or destroy someone else's property and damage it. I don't agree with that, period.
I agree with you.
What I'm saying is, if someone says to me, hey, listen, you white motherfucker, I'm going to punch you in the face. If you're a police officer, I'm going to punch you in the face. So a police officer says to me, you know what? I'm so sick of you fucking white people. I'm so sick of men. I'm going to punch you in the fucking face. Let mark my words. I'm fucking beating the shit out of a police officer. He thinks he's going to punch me in the face.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Now, it does not give me the right it gives me the right to protest. It does give me the right to protest.
It doesn't give you the right to punch the police officer in the face.
If they punch me in the face, you better believe it.
Oh, if they punch you in the face. But
Yes.
if they just said you white, whatever.
Correct. I agree with that.
That doesn't give you the right to punch
I agree
them in
with
the face.
that. I'm talking about if my
But also,
physical...
But you saying it doesn't give you the right, that doesn't really matter, Dad. Doesn't give you the right. In Nazi Germany, if you didn't want to go with the police, it doesn't give you the right to not go.
Not talking about the right, Bronson. You're not...
The right is arbitrary.
No, Bronson. Forget the term when you're saying the right. That's not the essence of what I'm saying. If Nazi Germany, and they said to me, hey, you're a Jew, come here. And I knew that my life was in jeopardy, yeah, I'd probably be killed because I would fight those Nazi Germans.
So you're okay. You're okay with ignoring the laws of a wait. You're okay with ignoring the laws of a country if you don't agree with them because if it's like against you, right?
No, that's not what I said. Not even close to what I said.
Because the laws in Nazi Germany would have said as a Jew, you for sure go with the police.
Okay, let me explain.
And the police can do whatever they want to you. That was the law.
Bronson,
yes.
You're not fucking listening to any. For a guy who's so smart and well read, why don't you take a deep breath, take a step back, and listen?
Okay. I feel the same way. I feel like you're not listening to me as well.
But I'm being very clear, and let me tell you the reason
And I'm
why.
being very clear as well.
Okay, Bronson, if your life is in jeopardy, no matter who you are, whatever the laws are or not, you have a right to defend yourself, period. Period. You have a right to defend yourself if it threatens your physical ability. So therefore, when George Floyd had his fucking knee on the guy's knee on his neck, if George Floyd was able, he would have had a right to defend himself.
According to what?
Okay. According to the law, period. No. Bronson.
You said you have a right to defend yourself if you're threatened.
Yeah, Bronson.
But then what if you said in Nazi Germany you have a right to, as a Jew, I would have had the right.
Okay, forget about even the law for
the whole thing is about the law. So how can we just forget about the law?
By the way, let's leave it like this for a minute. Okay, because I am correct. If a police is using excessive force, you have 100% right to defend yourself.
Sure, that's in the law.
It's called self-defense.
Yeah.
Now let's remove the law for a second. Let's take about your Nazi Germany analogy, whatever it is. I'm talking about in general. If somebody threatens physically harms you, is going to harm you as a person, law or no law, has an ability to defend yourself. Period. Okay. Period. It does not give me the right to go ahead and walk down a street and destroy someone else's property. It does not give me the right to go ahead and you have a right to protest and free. See, here's what you need to understand. There's a huge difference between protected and unprotected speech. First Amendment right, freedom of speech. The difference between protected speech, which allows people to, you Googled and DuckDuckGo shit, the fucking thing, between protest and riot, and you saw how skewed it was. The difference between protest and rioting is one incites riot. Unprotected speech is when incites riot, which means violence and harm. Okay? I'm okay with things being changed. I'm okay with people being equal. I am not okay with people if there's just walking down the streets and damaging government property, damaging other people's property, damaging. When I watched those riots in LA, these buildings were owned by people like you and me. They just burn them.
When we were talking about Israel yesterday, you said because we were talking about how the Israeli government or the military sent that bomb over the border to Gaza, and it destroyed that the office building that had Hamas in it, but it also had Associated Press, it also had Al Jazeera, it had news outlets. And you said that's part of war. You said there's going to be casualties and there's going to be things that you don't want to happen, but that war gets dirty and there are things that...
Okay, there's a big... Go ahead, Bronson. Go ahead.
I wasn't done. So you're saying in fighting and in trying to change things and change the system, you don't have a right to burn down a building because it's not associated with... It's just a private business. But the Israeli government has the right to bomb down the private business of AP that's not associated with Hamas at all, and you were okay with it because you're like, that... And the thing that I'm trying to get you to say is,
you're wrong.
It's because you're on the side.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. You are so fucking wrong and taking 8 words out of 50 words. Let me explain something. Number one is America, we are not at war with BLM. We are not.
We're in a culture war.
No. Stop. Let me explain that. We are not at war. The Israeli fucking Hamas.
They're not at war. There has been no declaration of war.
Let me forget.
It's just right. But
you want to let me speak?
Okay.
I'm not talking about if the president or the chief declares war.
So then, what's a war then?
Let me explain something. There's no doubt between because there's
fighting in the streets in America all the time between two sides. Literally fighting between police.
I can't have this conversation with you because you're not even listening.
Has the military fought citizens in America in the last year?
You can't make an analogy with what happened. You want to talk about the Israel thing with Hamas?
Of course I can make an analogy.
It's a completely different thing.
It is.
Completely different.
It is. All I'm saying you're saying it doesn't you're saying it doesn't give anyone the right to burn down a private business. And I said, but then you also said in times of conflict and fighting, which is what's going on in Israel, shit happens.
That's not true. What happened yesterday at fucking lunch was you said, did you hear what happened with regards to Israel when they bombed that? It was the Associated Press and with regards to that building. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know why that's done, why it was done. It wasn't like Israel saying, let's go ahead and bomb that building. Hamas, what they do in the Palestinian, in the Gaza Strip is they go in and they bomb from these locations, hospitals, churches, Associated Press buildings. They're purposely doing that. Okay. So to prevent them from being bombed back. And therefore, if that's where the bombing station is, Israel's going to go ahead and bomb and take out that bombing station. Doesn't matter where it is. That's where because that's what it is.
So they have you're okay with they have the right to destroy private business.
And the difference.
So they don't have the right to destroy private business.
No, Bronson. You're so.
I'm asking you questions.
No, and the private business aspect. No, the difference is if these buildings, okay, that were destroyed in fucking LA or New York City, these regular buildings that are owned by people like, let's say, like you and me, or businesses.
The Gaza building was owned by regular people.
No, but in those buildings, there are not people throwing and damaging people at BLM or the other people protesting on the street. They just out of the blue just said, let me take a Molotov cocktail and fucking burn the place down. Or let me Target. When they go in and break into fucking Target and do stuff and go into the stores and do that, no one's harming BLM.
I agree.
The difference is, or there's no setup saying, hey, KKK group, let's hide out in Target a shopping area. No one's doing that.
So you're okay with someone destroying a private business if it has a threat? That's when you're okay?
Okay, Bronson, you can't narrow it down.
I'm asking you questions.
You can't. It doesn't work. If you're thinking to pigeonhole me to make,
I'm not. I'm genuinely asking you questions.
I'm okay with damaging a private business if it's on a Tuesday between 7 and 9 p.m. on a leap year, only if they have a double door entrance and it's painted red.
I'm literally asking you questions
because it's bullshit. That's a bullshit question. Well, there's no value to it.
Because you're saying it's not okay if it's not okay to destroy private.
By the way, forget BLM. It's nothing to do with BLM.
Okay,
has zero to do with BLM.
So if what's that? So you're not okay with someone destroying a private. You don't have the right to destroy a private business, but it's also okay if there's a threat in the private business. I'm just trying to get your point.
If in the Target shopping center, okay, if in Target you had white Aryan race group going against black people, which I think would be disgusting, or if you had if in there a terrorist had a setup in that building where they were setting up bombs that had nuclear, but whatever it might be, any kind of bomb like that, I am completely fine with
burning the target down.
I'm completely fine with our military doing what they need to do to fucking stop that area. Now, it's a casualty of the building and they have insurance, I get it. But just for me to make a point, for me to damage people's cars, buildings, burn things down like that, whatever, no, because your personal life is not in jeopardy.
I agree with you.
That's what I'm saying. So
but I'm talking about from the thought of it on the other side. What they say is we've tried to work within the system for 100 years and shit hasn't gotten done the way we want it to. So what else do we do?
That may very well be true. I'm not discounting that. Okay, I don't know enough to confirm it or not or disaffirm it. But I do know that you don't have a right to destroy something that's not belong to. I'm sorry. I believe that's.
But in war, you do.
But okay,
in war, there is no right.
But then if we're really in war, if that was the fucking case, if that was the case, so what happened was because of this political correctness and our weak, fucking, pathetic government, and worrying about no one's feelings getting hurt.
Well, most of that happened under Trump, but okay.
I'm talking. Listen to me. I'm not talking
all the BLM riots were under Trump.
Bronson. I'm talking about our government. Our government's a fucking joke, okay? It's not about Trump. Don't make this has nothing to do with, see, you're trying to narrow this down to be like it's a BLM thing or Trump or not Trump. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking in general aspects. It has nothing to do, I don't care. We talk about a fucking widget. If we are at war and you want to say we're at war, don't tell me you're war because you think, a 25-year-old social media kid so smart with your iPhones. Not that kind of war. I'm talking meaning I'm talking about war. If we're really at war with people that are damaging property and doing things like that, then our government should fucking come in, which is a stronger military than these rioters, and fucking shoot them and destroy them. That's war. War, isn't that war?
Yeah.
But we're not doing that.
And that's what happened.
Instead everyone's taking a knee. So when you take, because it's not politically correct to fight that. As a matter of fact, the police officers are told stand down. Don't do anything.
So they're winning the war.
No, it's not. It's not a true war. It's a political thing more than it's not a war. Now, if you want to go back,
it's a culture war.
Okay.
What is a war then to you? There have been deaths. There have been buildings burned down.
Yep.
There has been fighting between citizens and military.
Those are riots. Those are bad riots. Which to me is unprotected speech. Okay, and is not permissible. There you go. Type away in your computer.
I'm just going to see definition of war.
Because what's
a state of armed conflict between two different nations or different groups within a nation. So let's say that again. A state of armed conflict between different groups within a nation.
Okay, when you fight with your brothers, technically, you could say it's a war too. When you and your brothers fight,
we're not different groups; we're individuals.
Yeah. Okay. So if you and your buddy fought your two brothers, it'd be a war. That's a group. Two or more is a group.
I mean,
I'm just saying, if you want to go with the literal term,
gangs in New York City are fighting for a year, that's a war.
We're not talking.
That's
about
a gang war.
We're not talking about that kind of war,
right? But
you understand, Bronson?
But what war?
You're
what
comparing.
War are we talking about? I'm not talking about war with a capital W.
You fucking compared the Israel-Gaza thing, the Israel-Hamas, to what I'm saying is, I have no problem with people doing what they need to do to try to change things, but you don't have a right to destroy an innocent building, burn it down, or other cars like that. So don't. That's what I'm saying.
But you do get that right at a certain point. You've admitted you get that right at a certain point because Israel had the right to do it.
Stop picking you.
So there's a spectrum of right for you. Because you don't have the right until you do.
Let me ask you, rather than playing devil's advocate, let me ask you, Mr. Almightier Than Thou, you're saying something.
What of Almightier Than Thou have I spoken?
Because
I've literally just asked you questions.
No,
what is war to you?
I'm happy to hear what fucking people think about this, about the listeners. This is one, you let me know when people talk about it in Discord or whatever. I really want to get people's opinion on this fucking thing. Because I know I'm fucking right, and I hope you just, again, I can't tell whether you do these little mind fucking games or these debates.
You think too wrong. You think too evil of me. Sometimes
not evil.
When I ask you,
not evil.
Wait. I
don't think evil of you. Let me be very clear. Look at me.
Fine, conniving. No. I ask you questions, and you go higher than thou. Whatever. You think you're so smart, and I go. I'm asking questions because I genuinely want to know what you're thinking. So I ask you, what's the definition of war? And you go, you think you're so smart. Looking up definition, and I go, no, I want to know what your definition of war is. I want to know. Okay, then when I ask you questions, then you think that I'm what? trying to play mind games with you by asking you questions. You go, you're trying to pigeonhole me into an answer.
No, I think
I'm telling you genuinely from the bottom of my heart, I'm not trying to pigeonhole you into an answer. I'm trying to understand your thoughts when I ask you questions.
Okay. I'm not going to sit there and debate even on that. I hear you. I appreciate
Well,
what you're saying.
it's not a
But
debate,
many times you say things for either devil advocates purposes, and you don't might not necessarily agree with it. And this whole thing started with the fact that
I said it started from me saying I think that it's okay to take down statues that you don't agree with, that are of traitors. That's what, because you were talking about the guy your client that said, what if there was like an Adolf Hitler statue?
I agree with him on
That's
that.
where this whole thing started.
I agree with him on that. I 100% agree with him. But I brought it really started to get to the point when people damaging other people's properties, businesses, buildings, things like that. That's where it really started.
Yeah.
And
so you're okay with taking
wait. Let me hear. And then after 35 minutes of you playing your devil's advocate or whatever you want to call it, you said you're not okay with it. In simple terms.
I would have said I'm not okay with it.
And we're at $1.20 on time.
Am I not allowed to have a discussion? How I have discussions is not always my personal truth, how I know about. Sometimes I can just talk. Aren't I allowed to just think things? So you say like you're playing devil's advocate, like that's a horrible thing to do. What if I don't know how I feel on something, so I'm talking it out
that's
through
valid.
you? That's
okay. That's valid.
So you're like you started this whole thing and you're talking and playing devil's advocate for 30 minutes, and then you said you're not okay with it. Yeah, I wasn't okay with it at the beginning, but also aren't I allowed to be like, but Black Lives Matter does aren't I allowed to have a discussion even if I don't agree with the point? In court, don't you argue all the time for a side, even though you you might not agree with it? Our brains are capable of doing that.
Okay, Bronson.
All right, let's go.
So we're ending on this.
Yeah.
All right, this is interesting. This was a heated one.
Yeah, because we weren't understanding each other.
All right, curious to know how many listeners we lost.
I don't mean lost forever. I just know like if I were listening to a podcast, just because the problem was after 20 minutes, the first 20 minutes of the discussion, argument, me playing devil's advocate, whatever you want to call it. The first 20 minutes, we were talking about ideas. We were actually arguing different sides. And then it just got into personal things. We were arguing about how to answer a question. Like, that's just stupid. But whatever, we'll see. All right. Love you, Dad.
Love you too, Ronnie.
Bye.
You're joking, right?
Well, I'm trying to be hopeful. I'm trying to be optimistic about that.
Well, I guess you're too young to be a little pessimistic like me.
The fucking things I see out there, people are stupid.